For some reason, I am in the mood to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas again.
Hello, Era.
Oh, hi, Crypty.
What? You're not gonna try to run away?
Because we've done this dance twice before. I mean, come on, it's hard to be shocked by this point.
Oh, you're a big man, aren't you? Well, how about this year you agree not to bust any movies that you review until the end of the month?
And why would I agree to do that?
Because I have a movie that you will want to rip on so badly that you will agree to anything.
Really? What is it? Sparkly Pricks Jr. Alright, Bone Bag, I accept. Well, it's not ketchup, but it'll have to do.
In the heart of Transylvania, in the vampire hall of fame, yeah, there's not a vampire thing together. Keep on fighting, people now, cause it's a banana, yeah, Hey, Count Duckula.
Greetings, Deadites and Death Dealers, I'm Erod and I'm the Blockbuster Buster, and welcome to the 3rd annual Halloween Havoc. Now, this is the part of the video where I usually delve into the rich history of the source material of the movie that I'm reviewing, but honestly, there is no point. I could sit here and tell you all about the Darren Shan Cirque du Freak book series, but you know the only reason that this story was adapted to film was because this poop is popular. So without even watching the movie, I can already tell you that it won't be faithful to the book, that it will confuse casual viewers, and that the pacing might be off, as this film was more than likely rushed through production. So there you go, I just saved you from 27 compare and contrast jokes. So let's not waste any time, let's dive into yet another film that makes vampires look like a bunch of pathetic, pontificating pansies. So our movie begins in the middle of the story, as we find that our main character, boring, bland, average white guy Darren Shan, has died. As we meet his grief-stricken friends and family, we suddenly pan down to reveal... Submitted for your approval. This movie is pathetically trying to appeal to tweens. You've been warned. So we flash back to the beginning of the story, where we properly meet Darren, and guess what? He's just as plain, boring, and bland as expected. He's a popular, straight-A student with loving parents and no discernible flaws. Don't you just want to spend an hour and a half with this asshole? So Perfect Ponce is hanging out with his troublemaking best friend Steve when they receive a flyer for the freak show. So our undynamic duo go to catch themselves the freak show. But before they head inside, it's once again time for... Incredibly Awkward Backstory! So for absolutely no good reason whatsoever, smack dab in the middle of this scene, Darren decides to narrate to himself how he is a big fan of spiders and Steve is a big fan of vampires. I wonder if there could have been a way that they could have delivered this exposition visually. You know, like they do in movies! So the boys enter the freak show and Ken Watanabe, Orlando Jones, Jane Krakowski, Kristen Shaw, all playing freaks with superpowers? Whoa, now this is an awesome cast, and it definitely makes up for these two lame assholes. The only thing that would make this cast perfect would be... Samba!
Bamboleo, bambolea, porque mi vida yo la prefiero vivir así. Bamboleo,
Oh, no, why? Oh, why? Why would they do that? Why would they put a beard on Salma Hayek? That's like drawing a cock on the Mona Lisa's forehead. What? Some people find poultry offensive. So after that visual cold shower, we finally get to meet this movie's vampire, Lantern Crepsley, played by John C. Reilly. Oh my god! Did you go to the barber and ask him to give you the little orphan Annie? Alright, look. I'll admit it, John C. Reilly is a great actor. But you're telling me he's supposed to be the vampire? He just looks so goofy and out of place. Visually, nothing about him says vampire. He has no mystique, no smoothness, no imposing presence. There are so many actors in this film who could visually be believable vampires. If John C. Reilly was trying to play a very unorthodox, goofy vampire, I'd buy it. But I kid you not. He actually plays it straight. And I'm sorry, he might be trying to play a badass vampire, but all I see is Dewey Cox. So get this, the second that Krebsley steps on stage, Steve recognizes him as a vampire. And how did this personality-stricken juvenile delinquent identify him as a vampire, you might ask? He read it in a book. Apparently in this universe, you can walk into your local Barnes & Noble and pick up a vampire directory. I would call bullshit on this, but apparently this is also the same universe, where the illegitimate child of Eraserhead and Ronald McDonald can pass himself off as a vampire. So Krebsley does the little jig with his highly trained CG spider.
Walk hard, hard, down life's rocky road.
Then after the show, yet again with no motivation or prompting whatsoever, Darren breaks into Krebsley's dressing room and steals his spider. Damn it! Stop saying and doing things without any motivation or inciting incident. I mean, how would you guys feel if in the middle of one of my jokes you guys would be fucking pissed. So right when you thought the pacing in this movie couldn't get any clumsier or faster, Willem Dafoe, wearing lipstick, comes out of nowhere and tells Krebsley that Mr. Tiny has been messing with the Book of Souls and is amassing an army of evil vampires. Again, they don't show us any of this, they just tell it to us. And who the hell is Mr. Tiny, you might ask? Well, Oh wait, Steve has something to say.
I know what you are. You see, I want this. I want you to make me into a vampire.
I've known you for 2 minutes and I can't stand you. I don't really feature you living forever. Can I eat him now, love?
So apparently, Krebsley has the magical vampire ability to tell whether you're going to be good or evil by the taste of your blood. You know, as corny as that might be, it is still cooler than sparkling in the sunlight. Krebsley automatically knows that Steven would be an evil vampire, so he sends him away. And I hope you enjoyed that, cause I'm pretty sure that that's gonna be the most sensible moment in this entire movie. The next day, Darren shows the spider to Steve at school. The spider gets away, and Steve decides to kill it. Again, for no good reason. God damn it! This is not a hard concept to grasp. Characters should have motivations behind their actions, like this!
I don't like spiders.
See? You see how quickly they set that up in Harry Potter? Here, Steve just wants to kill the spider because... you guys would be fucking pissed. Long story short, the spider bites Steve. Now he's dying slowly from the spider venom. Darren has no choice but to ask Krebsley for the antidote. Krebsley agrees to give the antidote to Steve, but there's a small catch.
You'll become my assistant.
What?
I'll turn you into a half vampire. You'll be able to go out in the daylight. Very useful for me.
A half vampire?
Vampires don't kill the people they feed on. Vampanese do.
Vampanese? That sounds fucking retarded. I'm not calling them that.
No, that's bullshit.
Agreed. So, let me see if I get this straight. Out of all the awesome people around you, you pick the white bread lame ass to make immortal and give superpowers to? So he turns Darren into a half vampire by touching fingers. You are one lucky bitch! So before Darren can start his life as a half vampire, Krebsley must convince Darren's family that he died in a terrible accident.
Never remember. Sorry about that. I had to do that or they would never believe you were dead. Don't worry. There's no damage to your spinal cord. And I'll sneak into the funeral home and fix your broken neck. Oh, and sorry about this next part.
Son of a bitch! I wanted to do those things! After Krebsley pulls Darren out of his grave, they get chased by the Punisher vamp. But that, like most things in this movie, leads to absolutely nothing. So now that Darren is a half vampire, Krebsley has him doing chores at the freak show. Why was turning him into a half vampire essential for this?
Oh, no. I'm still angry at you.
Your mouth says no, but your beard says yes.
Mr. Tiny shows up, along with the plot of this movie, which has only been talked about up to this point, and he is there with the intention of recruiting Darren for his vamp army. But luckily, the freaks are there to protect him.
You're messing with the wrong sideshow, baby!
I'll fight your damn noses off.
I'm gonna ram my head up your ass.
Oh man, this is going to be good.
Stop! Stop! There will be no fighting here.
What the fuck is wrong with this movie? Everything that is remotely interesting about it is either told to you or it happens off screen. And now they're gonna have a big battle and they get cock blocked? You know what? I am gonna say the dirtiest thing that I've ever said on this show. Twilight is better than this movie. As horrible as those films are, at least they use visual storytelling as opposed to characters just walking into the room and for no rhyme or reason. I'm glad I got that out of my system. I feel much better now. Since Mr. Tiny can't convince Darren to join his vamp army, he makes the offer to Steve. And how exactly did Mr. Tiny know that Steve wanted to be a vampire?
I don't know. It's a mystery.
Wait. This tween movie, it's missing something. Let's see, we have the bad pacing, we have the clumsy pop culture references, and we have the lead character that has the charisma of a rusty horseshoe. Something's missing. What could... Yes, the fry. The forced romantic interest. And guys, I am not exaggerating when I say that this is the most shoehorned fry that I've seen so far in the movies that I've reviewed. This character is so tacked on and so poorly written that I can't do her justice with just words. I'm just gonna let this scene play.
So, you know, Rebecca, you never really told me what you're doing here with the Cirque.
Well, Darren, since you ask, I'm a monkey girl.
You're what?
What?
Nothing, I thought you just said you were a monkey girl.
Well, oh yeah. Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means I have a tail. Do you have a problem with that?
No. Because you're joking, right?
No, I'm not joking. And keep it wrapped up because people kept stepping on it.
If the composition of the scene that you just saw came off as awkward and crappy, that just means that your eyes and ears are working. So Mr. Tiny is still hell-bent on getting Darren to join his side, cause apparently he's the chosen one or some bullshit. So he has Steve kidnap Darren's family and Monkey Girl, and threatens to kill them unless he joins their side. Unfortunately, Darren can't quite bust in and rescue his loved ones cause he's not strong enough. You see, his vampire powers won't fully manifest themselves until he drinks human blood. Oh man, this means he's going to have to kill somebody if he wants to save his loved ones.
So you really don't kill people?
No, Darren. You just sedate them, feed a little bit, and then leave.
Whoa, how'd you do that?
Vampires can exhale a gas that knocks out humans.
Really?
Drink some blood, you'll be able to do all kinds of things. Now, you just make a small incision in his shoulder, right here. And then you take a sip.
No, I'm not gonna drink human blood.
Since Darren's not man enough to drink blood, Krebsley tries to rescue his family on his own, but gets spanked by the Punisher vamp. So the dork Ferratu comes to the rescue, but he's still not powerful enough to fight, so Monkey Girl lets him drink some of her blood. She let him drink some of her blood so he could power up and beat up the bad guys. That's the same scene from Blade!
I want you to take some of my blood.
Dude, you do not want to steal from the Daywalker.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
So now that Darren is powered up, he fights Steve with the skill and dignity of a cartoon cloud fight. stay with me folks, cause this is when it gets confusing. Tiny freezes them, cause apparently he has the power to do that.
What?
Then he tells them that they're not ready to fight.
What?
And right before you can ask, then what the fuck was the point of the scene? He goes on to turn Punisher Vamp into a Jawa and walks away.
What?
And I shit you not, that's pretty much the end of the movie. They do a quick wrap up of the romance, they erase the memories of the family, sequel beg for a bit, but none of that vampire war stuff that they talked about is ever shown. The freaks do nothing in this movie. Selma Hayek actually does more in Wild Wild West, and no explanation is ever truly given for Darren's importance and why everybody wants his lame ass on their side. This movie's a gargantuan garrison of guano. Yes, I will admit, this movie has one of the greatest supporting casts I have ever seen. And the practical makeup effects are mind-blowing. Especially the makeup for Mr. Tiny. This is what Michael Severus actually looks like in real life. Now that's impressive. But this movie's biggest failure is actually pretty simple. Everything that's interesting about it, the freaks, the vampire war, the black magic, it all gets pushed to the background. And everything that's lame about it, more specifically these two punk asses, get pushed to the foreground. But as terrible as this movie was, it's still not the worst movie that I've reviewed, and it was a pretty tame way to start Halloween Havoc. Voorhees. A penny for your thoughts, Chief.